a good day. It's a good day for a nice walk. It's our last video from here in Bariloche. We're going to be moving on to a new city. But before we did, I wanted to show you around the neighborhood a little bit. And I quite enjoy the neighborhood. It's a very, very nice city to walk around. You get beautiful views out in the distance. See a beautiful mountain lake, snow-capped mountain behind it. Bariloche really is amazing. I mean, it's a great city. Welcome back everyone to Bariloche, Argentina. Today, we're doing our last video from here. It's our last video from here in Bariloche. We're going to be moving on to a new city. But before we did, I wanted to show you around the neighborhood a little bit. Been staying right here on this corner along this street, Onelli, which is like a commercial street. And instead of just showing you around this neighborhood, I figure we'll take a walk downtown Centro, show you exactly how close it is to walk to the Centro, and we'll talk a little bit along the way, so come along. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you want to help out the channel and help it grow, I really would appreciate it. Click on the like button down there, the subscribe button, and the little bell next to it to be notified for when new videos drop. It really helps the channel grow because it's going to help the YouTube algorithm recognize this content and spread it to other YouTube viewers. If you'd like to support the channel monetarily, I would appreciate that as well. You can leave a super thanks by clicking this thanks button here and give a small donation to the channel. I appreciate your support. So back to the video, enjoy. So like I said, we've been staying here in Bariloche for a few weeks. Not as long as we usually stay in most cities, but enough time to get a good feel for what the neighborhood is like. And I quite enjoy the neighborhood. It's not super far away from Centro. In fact, we can walk there, like I said, in about, 15 minutes or so. We'll do the walk right now. One of the good things about this neighborhood was we are staying on a pretty commercial street. Onelli here, this street, has a lot of shops, restaurants, things like that along it. It's not strictly a residential street, which is really nice because one, everything's close by. You can walk to get to supermarkets, vegetable markets, butcher shop, things like that. They were all within close walking distance. And also there's, some cafes, some restaurants, things like that. But also, because it's a pretty commercial street, there's a lot of buses that run along this street. Now, Bariloche is not a very big city, especially compared to the cities that we've been in already, in the places that we've visited so far in South America. This is probably, it's probably the smallest of all the cities that I've visited. Like some of the other smaller cities that we visited, like Mendoza in Argentina, which has less than 200,000 people in the city, but has like a big metro area around it. Mendoza metro area, right? Like greater Mendoza. It's like 1 million people. So it feels like a lot bigger city than it really is. But here in Bariloche, it's a little bit more remote. And so, 150,000 people maybe in the total area around here. Not too many. And when you get outside of the city, like you saw maybe in our video of our mini Patagonia road trip that we took, links to those part one and part two of those videos down in the description. But like those, once you get outside the city, it's pretty remote. So the city itself is quite small, which means you don't necessarily need to take a bus to get to most places. In fact, like I said, we're walking from our apartment over to Centro, and we're walking a good part of the city, right? Like the city has this central sort of area that we're in here. The Centro, the actual central square, is actually sort of over in one corner of the city, down by the lake. So it's not actually in the center of the city. But you can walk pretty easily around Bariloche, which is nice. But if you need to, there's buses. In fact, there's one right there, 51 bus that runs along Onelli here. And it's pretty easy to catch buses. Also, there's plenty of taxis, like that guy right there, that you can get and get around if you need to. And if you need to go out to further, farther away, out in the, like you want to take a little mini Patagonia road trip like we did, you can rent a car, of course. But if you don't want to rent a car, I've noticed there are plenty of remise services out here. A remise service is basically just like a hired car that you hire a driver and they'll drive you out somewhere. You agree on the price ahead of time. In fact, we're passing one like right here on the street, and it's a really good way if you have a specific place that you want to go to and you're just taking like a short trip out there. You can do one of these remise services. And because, Bariloche is a pretty well trafficked like tourist area, lots of tourists come through here every year. There are plenty of remise services around because, a lot of tourists that come through, they may not necessarily want to rent a car. They may want to take a little trip out to do, a tour, maybe Circuito Chico like we did, maybe go down south to El Bolson like we did, or to any of the other, things that there are to see outside the city on the, out in the province. Because there's a lot of beautiful stuff to see around in Rio Negro province and the nearby provinces too, like Nequen province, Nequen province, yeah, and also further south into like Chubut province, where we headed down for our video about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. But like I said, very easy to walk around Bariloche. And now the buses, what's very, very good if you're already in Argentina and you've, say, flew into Buenos Aires, which you probably did, and then came here from Buenos Aires, they use the SUBE card for public transportation here for the buses. The SUBE card, see, as you can see right here, this kiosk, they recharge and sell SUBEs here. So you don't even need a different card. You just get your SUBE card when you're in Buenos Aires, load a bunch of money onto it, and when you get here, it'll work. You can even catch a bus straight from the airport, which is what we did actually. From the airport, hopped on a bus, public city bus, that took us basically right down sort of at the end of Onelli Street here. A couple blocks down is where we stopped, and then we just walked up that way to the apartment, maybe like 6 blocks. So that was really nice, being able to take a bus, not having to take a taxi, not having to try and catch an Uber or worry about any of that. And of course, in addition to having the bus from the airport, there, like I said, are lots of buses that run through this area along Onelli here. Some of the other areas in Bariloche, I get the feeling that maybe some of them may not be well served by buses, but those are the ones that are further away. Places where I think if you were staying there and you wanted to get to El Centro, you really would need to take a bus. You wouldn't be able to walk. It's a little bit too far to walk. But from here, being able to take the buses, and the buses actually, what's really interesting is they go outside the city too. When we took our little mini road trip around Circuito Chico, you can actually get, I would say probably about 70 or 75% of the way around Circuito Chico just by taking public city buses. They don't go all the way out to Villa Tacul, where we saw that collapsed bunker out in the the Yao Yao forest. They don't go all the way out there. I think the farthest you could probably get on the northern side of the loop would be to Villa Yao Yao, where the hotel was, the Yao Yao Hotel. And then on the southern side of the loop, I don't know. I'm thinking the bus would probably take you to that really beautiful panoramic spot where we took that absolutely amazing photo, this absolutely amazing photo, looking down over the Yao Yao Hotel. But you can get pretty far. You can get pretty far, and honestly, that's good. If you don't want to rent a car, but you still want to get out and see most of the things that are out there on Circuito Chico, you could probably do it on a city bus if you wanted to. And then also, there's another option around here that I didn't check out. I saw it when I was at the airport, and it's a private bus line called Via Bariloche. it's more of like a long haul bus. They have one that runs from the airport into the city. But then, like, as we were driving south along Route 40, right down to like El Bolson, I noticed that there were these stops for Via Bariloche along the way. Maybe every, I don't know, 20, 25 kilometers or so, I'd see one of those stops. And I think you can probably catch a Via Bariloche bus. It'll be like a big coach bus, you know, like a micro. And you could probably get one of those to get down there if you wanted to. And puppy there. So if you didn't want to rent a car, of course, be able to do that. All right, so we are at the corner of Francisco Moreno and Onelli. There is a Carrefour Market here, full size. So there's a supermarket if you need it. And like I mentioned, around the area where we were staying, there were a couple other supermarkets too within walking distance. So you're gonna have everything you need within walking distance. But to get to El Centro, just come down here to that corner, take a left, and if we head down this way, maybe another 6 or 7 blocks, we are in Centro. So it's not like a super short walk. You know, it's not like 3 or 4 blocks to get to Centro, like we have been in some of the cities where we've stayed. But it's definitely close enough, especially on a nice day like today, where it's like sunny, sweatshirt weather today basically. There's a cool breeze. It's a little cool, but it's sunny, so it's not too cold. It's a good day. It's a good day for a nice walk. And like I said, you know, you can get into El Centro in 15 or 20 minute walk. And of course, as you're walking, you get beautiful views out in the distance of like snow-capped mountains. Bariloche really is amazing. I mean, it's a great city just to walk around and like look, you know, turn your head and see the beautiful lake out there, right? Nahuel Huapi, and the mountains on the other side. And along this street, Moreno, and also the street that's like 1 block further down that way, which I think is, it's either San Martin or Mitre. There's a couple of streets that run like east-west into Centro that are also commercial streets, right? There's shops all along here in front of Mesilla. There's your Western Union. If you need to like exchange some cash, get some cash at Western Union. And like further up here, about 4 or 5 blocks, was where I found a Claro store when I needed to, I don't know, something went wrong with the SIM card that I had originally bought when we first got here to Argentina, and I needed to buy a new SIM card. And I was able to go down to the Claro store down here and get it very easily. People were very helpful. Just another plug, honestly, in South America. Look at that view. Just another plug here, and I've made this plug before as a tourist, for Claro prepaid tourist SIM cards in South America. I've tried a couple of different brands. Movistar was one of the other brands that I tried. I had in Argentina a personal Flow SIM card, and Claro is like the best, honestly. They have the best coverage. They have like in all parts of South America that I've been to, at least, they have the best coverage. They have the strongest network, I think, and super convenient. The stores, like going to the stores, for me, has never been a hassle in any of the places that I've been to, like so far. The only one that was a little weird was I went to Santiago in Chile, and you buy the SIM card from like a vending machine in the store, which is actually really convenient, but I didn't quite understand how to do it, and the people at the store were not like being very helpful with it, but that was just one minor incident. Once I figured out how to buy that thing, I actually just, like, it was fine. It was no problem after that. But it is really nice, Claro, to just be able to buy like a tourist prepaid SIM card and then, go online to their website or like on their app and just like add more data when you need it. And like I said, I'm not sponsored by Claro at all, but I've been using Claro for the majority of the time that I've been here, and I've really been happy with their service. So I'm pretty sure any like regular Claro customers who have like a contract with them or get their home internet through Claro or any of that, they probably have tons of complaints, because that's just the way it is always with like a service provider, right? Internet service provider. Everybody always has complaints about their service provider, but I haven't had really any so far with Claro. It's been really nice, and the people at the stores have always been really helpful with me trying to figure out in each different country like how their system works, right? Because Claro in Argentina is different from Claro in Chile, is different from Claro in Peru and Claro in Ecuador, and all the different places we've been. Everything's a little bit different, and it works a little bit different, so they've been very helpful. Anyway, that's enough talking about Claro. We're almost to Centro here. We're about, 3-4 blocks away. And like I said, we've only been walking for 15, maybe a little under 20 minutes. It's been a nice walk. Been a really nice walk. Get to see like beautiful shots of the natural beauty out when you look down the streets. But also, there's like a nice shopping street along here with some pretty pleasant architecture. And as you get closer to the center, once you get into the center, it gets really, really beautiful. The center, like we showed in the very first video that we made here in Bariloche, it's very beautiful. It has a very beautiful, like Alpine-inspired architecture that was pre-planned by the and built by the government, because we are here in Bariloche in a big national park. The whole area around here is a national park, Parque Nacional Nahuel Huapi, which is kind of cool, actually. That it's not something that happens in the United States. There are national parks in the United States, of course, but it's not like there's a big city in a national park, and there's a bunch of people living in there. There are places that you visit, that you can stay. I think there are plenty of national parks to see, big, beautiful national parks. But it was very interesting, like, to find out about Bariloche, that the whole city is actually in like a national park, and it was planned, like the modern development of Bariloche in the 20th century was like planned to be, this city that would be like the center hub for the national park to attract tourists from not just from Argentina, but from like all over the world to come here to Bariloche. And I think, they've been pretty successful. Like, it's a very popular tourist destination, more so in the winter, for skiing and things like that. But even now in the spring when we're here, it's really beautiful. And I've seen a lot of tour groups from, I think, other places in Argentina, but also I've run into some tourists from other countries as well. And I ran into a couple people from Brazil. I ran into a guy who was from Germany. So, I think they've been pretty successful in Bariloche with making it a major tourist destination. And I think that's good. I mean, I don't know, if you live in Bariloche, it's probably like a good and bad thing, right? I have a love-hate relationship with tourism because it provides a lot for the economy. There are a lot of jobs that are provided here, I think, because of the tourist industry, but I don't know. I think I personally, if I were living in a city that was like a major tourist destination, I would probably have days where I just got sick of tourists, you know? Big, dumb Yankee idiots walking around on the street with a camera, talking to themselves like they're morons. I'd probably I'd probably get a little upset with me, basically. But I don't know. If that were the case, and I were living in Bariloche, and I had a day where I don't know, I was a little sick of all the tourists walking around, I'd be like, you know, look out into the distance, see a beautiful mountain lake, snow-capped mountain behind it, take a deep breath of the crisp, clean mountain air, you know, go to my sink, get a drink of like the cleanest, most delicious tap water I've had in a really long time, and I think I'd be all right. I think I'd feel better after that. That's something to point out about Bariloche. I have not pointed out yet. Just like pretty much every other major city in Argentina, you can drink the tap water here. It is clean, it is fresh, it is very tasty. And like I said, in almost every major city, and even smaller cities in Argentina, the water is safe to drink, tap water, which is really good. There are some places we've been in South America where that is not the case. You have to boil the water, or you have to drink bottled water. And here in Argentina, pretty much everywhere in the country, you can drink the tap water. The only places I would avoid it is maybe like way out in rural, super rural areas that may not necessarily be connected to the main municipal water grid. Or places where you're staying in a very old building which may have bad pipes in the building itself. Other than that, man, the water here in the tap water is like, it's so crisp and clean, and it's excellent tap water. I'm not gonna lie, like, fantastic. One of the pluses about being here in Bariloche, the wonderful, super clean, super fresh, tasty water right out of the tap. I imagine this is probably where, like, a lot of the bottled water that you find in the rest of Argentina, if you're drinking it, it probably comes from around here, right? Bariloche, or maybe like a little further north up in Mendoza. I'm guessing it probably does. I mean, look, if it doesn't, then that's the business I'm going to start. I'm going to move to Bariloche, start filling up bottles with tap water and just selling them for, I don't know, like 4,000 pesos in Buenos Aires. All right, so we are almost here at El Centro. In fact, this little plaza right across the street here is the plaza. I can't remember its name right now, but it is just north of the central square where where the all those awesome Alpine-inspired buildings are, where the statue of Julio Argentino Roca is. Very close. So we'll head down one more block, and then we'll be there at Centro. And maybe this walk took a little bit longer than 20 minutes. But, like I said, look, it's a very nice city to walk around. And it's a nice walk to take, especially on a beautiful day. Now, if I were here in the winter, it was like really cold out and snowing, I probably wouldn't want to make this walk. But the good thing, of course, is you can take the bus or you can take a taxi. And because the distances aren't really that, so you're not going that far, basically. Taxi's not really going to cost that much for you to get maybe from that part of Bariloche where we were by the apartment down here to El Centro. And speaking of El Centro, here we are. And here we are. Central Plaza. There he is, the statue, Julio Argentino Roca. Beautiful buildings, beautiful lake, Nahuel Huapi. Beautiful, wonderful day for a walk, and I think that'll do it for the video. So, like I mentioned, this is our last video here in Bariloche. We are going to be moving on to another city. It's another city here in Argentina still, and I'm not going to tell you which one. So you're gonna have to tune in to see that. But if you haven't checked out the other videos that we made here in Bariloche, we made some good ones. I will link that playlist down in the description. You can check them out. And stay tuned for our next video coming up from a new city here in Argentina. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.